A casa boy and a bombshell just won. A casa boy and a bombshell just won. That's right, y'all. Amaya, Papaya, and Brian are the new winners of Love Island USA Season 7. Look at this. Look, Latino love in Trump's America. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is TammyTalks. We are gathered here today to talk Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 36, the finale. Before we get started, I want to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you that has watched any of my recaps, that have subscribed, that have thumbs up, that have shared the videos, that have downvoted the videos, that have commented, that have I appreciate you guys so much. The amount of growth that my channel got over the past, what has it been, 50 days is insane. I can't thank you guys enough. I I did not think that I would currently be at 43,000 subs. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. If you guys have not yet subscribed, I do still have a goal of 45,000 subs by August 1st. I'm at 43.2 right now. So if you guys are brand new, if you're a returning viewer that is not yet just subscribed, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, and then leave your comments down below. After you get done watching this video behind Beyond the Villa that dropped earlier today, my recap is already posted, so head on over there. I'll be recapping that weekly as it comes out. We heard that the reunion is going to be August 25th. I will be recapping that, so make sure you're subscribed for that. And then Love Island Games, September 16th. I, of course, will be recapping that. So you want to hit the subscribe button because we got things coming, all right? Let's go ahead and get into the episode. Now, this episode was 2 hours. I'm going to tell y'all now, I didn't take notes on everything. Y'all really only want to hear my thoughts about the winner. But we're going to talk about a few things. So we start off the episode with Nick and Andrea kissing over on the couch. Now, y'all know I was only a Nick and Andrea for 30 minutes on, was that Friday, so that I could vote, okay? But they were cute. So he told her that he kissed her the first night during that that blindfold challenge. And he said that he was interested in her, but the villa turned him a different direction. Now, before y'all come in the comments, I have heard all the stuff y'all been putting in my comments that Taylor supposedly told Nick he couldn't talk to her and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to say this, as I've said before. If Nick wanted to talk to Orlandria early on, he would have, okay? I still stand very firm on that. Were they cute this episode? Yes. Do I believe that they are gonna last forever and ever? I don't, and it's based off of something that Nick said in his speech that we'll get to, okay? So Huda said that she put herself first and left her daughter behind to come here. How did that work out for you, baby? But she said that everything happens for a reason. So Huda said this is insane, and she doesn't think that this is real. I feel the same way, because why are you here, Huda? I feel the same way, Huda. This is insane, but, girl, enjoy your night. So they are having a pillow fight, and Chris, Huda is hitting Chris with a pillow. He throws the pillow at her, hits her ass in the nose. She has to walk out the room. She comes back with a nose guard or something. Now, I know y'all think I'm going to drag her for this. I'm not. I think Huda is only a couple months post nose surgery. So, you can't have no shit, smashing it all with your way. But, I mean, it wasn't on purpose. She didn't crash out like I thought she was. She decided to crash out over something else. So, later in bed, we're in the thick of the night, okay? And Chris is asleep, sleep. She tries to wake him up, and he's paying her dust. So she was like, 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, girl, what are you counting for? So he was like, I want to get some sleep. I'm tired. And she's like, well, I want you to cuddle with me. He's like, I want to get some sleep. So she asks him if not cuddling with her now is worth her being upset at him tomorrow. I said, oh, girl, oh, bitch, go to sleep, Huda. Because here's the thing, for you to wake this man up because you want him to cuddle you in your sleep, and then you're threatening to not talk to him the next day if he, like, what are we doing? Like, seriously. Like, that was so childish. So the next morning they get a text that tonight is going to be everybody's final date. So we're going to start off with Nick and Alandria. So now, those of us that have been watching for some seasons now, we know that we can tell the winner based on how their dates are. I personally think that they go from who's ever in fourth place, to me, has the most boring date, and then they kind of work their way up. Now, I do think, this is just me, I think that Huda and Chris actually came in like second place. And I think that after they broke up, production switched some stuff. They might have even won, but I think production switched some shit because based on how their date was. Like, their date was gorgeous, okay? So Nick and Alandria. So they go on their final date first, and they're on a boat where they reenact Titanic. Before reaching a private island, they have some messages in a bottle from fans, the Nicolandrettes that were telling them, you're awesome, you're great, all that type of stuff. Nick said that he has been in love twice, and that third time is the charm. So they plan to water their relationship outside of the villa. So that is established right now, okay? They're having that conversation. They also point out how they are excited to introduce the other to the rest of their family and their friends. And Alandria keeps saying, I'm going to Florida, I'm going to Florida. I have not heard Nick say yet that he's going to Alabama, where she's from, or Texas, where she lives. Have not heard her say that. It's always her saying, she's going to Florida, okay? So they walk a little further and they get messages from family members. So Nick's is from his dad, who was saying how proud of him he is and all that type of stuff, that he's going to still beat him in pickleball. It was sweet. It was a very, very sweet, touching note. And then Alandria gets messages from both of her sisters, and she's too emotional to read them herself. But they're saying how she is the standard for a big sister, and they look up to her, and she's, very, very, very nice messages. I was like, oh, that's it for the date. Was it cute? Yes. Did it give second place winner? It did not. So I thought, when I first saw that, I was like, oh, they didn't win. They didn't win. One, because y'all date is during the day, okay? So we then see Chris is telling Brian, look, Huda was doing the most last night. And while they're talking about that, she's over to the side pouting. And Chris is like, she woke me up talking about some 1, 2, 3, whatever, whatever. And she's poking me, mad because she wanted me to turn around and cuddle her, or whatever the case. Now, we already know that Chris has an issue with the fact that Huda only wants to be affectionate under the sheets when nobody else can see them outside of the millions of us watching. So y'all just had that conversation, though, Huda. So that really wasn't going to go anywhere. So Brian was like, look, if I was in your shoes, I would just try to enjoy the date and see what happens. So Chris is like, I'm going to go on a date. I'm going to go on a date and I'm enjoying myself and I'm going to put my best foot forward. He said, but if the same thing happens on this date tonight, the way she's been acting shit, I might be the one that crashes out. I said, Chris, do you need to crash out music? Does Chris need to crash out music? Because I got it ready. Okay? So Huda is talking to Amaya, and she is saying how she needs advice because, once again, Huda is expressing how she wants a man that is going to be obsessed with her, that's all over her all the time. I have a friend that is like that, right? I have a friend that's like that, and she goes through the same thing with Huda. Same thing as Huda. If she feels that her dude is not obsessed with her, they don't last. She needs somebody that wants to be in her skin at all times. So Huda said that she brought this up to Chris and he turned away, and she ended up having to sleep cold the other way. No, you should have told Amaya how you woke Chris up in the middle of the night and then threatened to not talk to him the next day if he didn't cuddle you right then and there. So Huda is saying how Chris needs to fix it or they're done. And Amaya reminds her, nobody is perfect, mainly you. Okay. Nobody is perfect, but Amaya is like, you do need to clearly let Chris know what it is you value in a man and in a relationship. The next date up is Iris and Pepe, and it gave fourth place date. It gave fourth place. So they go like sailing, and then they end up just like talking to the side, and they agree that they want to keep this going after they leave the villa. I think Iris and Pepe are very full of lust, right? Have we heard them have in-depth conversations? Sure. A little yes, a little no, but they are always like, that's what Huda wants. The way that Pepe is always touching on her and always kissing on her, that's what Huda wants. That's what she wants. So then we get to Huda and Chris's date. Iain said Iain said now it's time for the date that everyone has been waiting for between Huda and Chris. Everyone is excited but Chris. I said, oh Lord. Now, their date was gorgeous. They were in the water, they had dinner. They had like those little lanterns, the paper lanterns in the water. It was very, very gorgeous, very sexy. I was like, okay. In my mind, I was like, damn, did Hood and them win? Because that's what the date gave. So they're at this candlelight dinner, and Chris is saying that he found what he was looking for, which is a genuine connection, and he sees the potential with them. Hood is like, so I asked you, what do you think I need to work on? Okay. And you didn't say, and I would really like for you to say. So Chris is trying to speak. Now, Huda does keep interjecting and almost cutting him off. And I'm like, girl, okay. So Chris is like, look, I felt that you did not respect my feelings about the kissing situation. And on top of that, you did not understand me wanting to simply go to sleep. He was like, you went as far as to threaten not to talk to me the next day if we didn't cuddle. And I felt like you were talking to me like a kid. But I'm a mom. That's how I talk to people. The 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1 is what I do for my daughter. She listens. When I count to 3, I don't make it to 3 with her. We get to 2. And little baby Huda knows to stop. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. You were talking to me like a child. Yeah, but do you know why I was doing that? Do you know why I was doing that? Yeah, because you don't respect me. No, there's a reason that I was talking to you like that. You weren't doing what I wanted you to do. You can tell me what you want me to do, but you got to go about it the right way. Because I'm not a child. I'm not your fucking child. I'm a grown ass man. I said, get into it. Tell her. Here's the thing. A lot of people keep saying that Huda is stuck in mommy mode and that Huda sacrificed so much to come here and we should give Huda grace. I'm going to tell y'all this. Is it noble that Huda left her child to come onto a game show? No. I'm sorry, but you don't get brownie points. You don't get extra kudos because you left your child to come on this show for 6 weeks where you have acted a whole donkey the entire time. What are we giving you grace for? How much grace is extended to Huda? I think a lot of y'all confuse calling a spade with hate. You know what I mean? Like, we see it so often in the comments. We see it so often in the comments, right? It's not a matter of hating anybody, but it is a matter of calling shit out. Keeping it a buck. Huda does, this is the last episode, so it don't matter. So Huda is like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Huda said, look, we need more time with the physical aspect. I want to continue to explore you, but I don't want to be disappointed. Okay, so I can tell where you're leaning, so go ahead and say it. Keep it a buck. I don't want to keep repeating myself. I am repeating myself too. Y'all, Huda starts pouting, right? Chris starts eating, And the way that lady came out singing, I said, why didn't somebody say cut the music? That lady came out singing. So now Hood is sitting like this because she's pouting. And then when the woman is done singing, Hood has said, I think we should just be friends. We should just be friends. Chris said, cool, I was waiting on you to say it. Shit, I didn't want to look like the bad guy and break up with you at the final dinner. Now you look like the weirdo that did it. Well, we're friends with everyone. Can we still like hang out and laugh and be cool? No, no. I have to not like you first. So, if I got to separate myself, I got to separate myself. Excuse me. Y'all, when Chris got up and sashayed his ass away from that table, I hollered. I hollered. Because I was like, I know you're not about to leave her ass, Chris. So now Huda is at the table. She starts crying. Not even going to hold y'all. I did feel bad for Huda in this moment. I thought it was so rude for Chris to get up from that table and walk away from her like that. I thought that was rude as fuck. Because if y'all are going to just be friends, why are you being an ass about it now? So, but then he came back. So production was like, nigga, please get your ass back over there. We are not done with the scene. So Chris comes back and was like, so you ready to go or what? Like, you ready to go? What are you crying for? What are you crying for? Because this is hard. You made the decision. This is you. You made the decision. Well, are you gonna carry me? No, I'm not gonna carry you. So you want me to walk in the water? I am not going to carry you. So then we get this embarrassing scene of Huda having to take her heels off. She pours herself another glass of look like sangria, okay? And she has to walk through the water to get back to the villa. Well, I did chuckle a little bit initially. I was like, damn, Chris, you could have at least held her hand. You know what I mean? Because if you pride yourself on being such a gentleman and y'all are leaving in a good space, why couldn't you? Now, do you need to be carried? No. No, you don't need to be carried. But Chris, you could have held her hand. Like that was some fuck nigga shit. I'm gonna be real with you. So they walk back into the villa, and it's clear dinner did not go as planned. Huda tells the girls how beautiful the dinner was, and it was. It was given y'all maybe y'all got first second place, I believe. But she was like, I ended it with Chris, and Chris is over there telling the guys Huda wanted to be friends, and I was like, cool. Because he said he saw the red flags with her and she isn't someone he would want to marry. Here's the thing though, Chris. I don't think Chris ever actually liked Huda. I don't. I think that Chris liked Shelly. And the moment that Huda presented the opportunity to bring Chris over into the villa and maybe stay a while, stay around a little bit longer so that he could try to pursue Shelly, he bit at that. Chris has never really acted like he was head over heels about Huda. He didn't. He honestly and truly didn't. And I think that Chris, do I think he led Huda on? No, I think that Huda was like a second choice for him. And once he saw that Shelly was kind of off limits, he was like, okay, I'll rock with Huda. But my thing is, you saw the red flags in her. You knew what type of woman Huda was before y'all even got over here. So I'm not going to give you too much sympathy, Chris, because she showed you who she was numerous times and you kept going through this with her. You should have self-eliminated and Taylor and Clark would be here. Y'all should have self-eliminated and Shelly and Ace would be here. Two actual couples. But whatever. So we then get to Amaya and Brian's date, and you could tell they were the winners because the most thought and effort was put into their date. So they are at a little cozy outside living room setup. There's a picture book of them that kind of chronicles pictures of them being babies all the way up through like their college years, and then there's a Polaroid camera for them to take a selfie together to add to a final memory. And Brian tells Amaya he wants to be exclusive with her, and they dance. There was music playing from like an old school vinyl record player. They have fireworks when they kiss, and I was like, okay, here go the winners. Here go the winners. We knew what type of time it was, okay? So Chris that night, Chris goes to sleep in soul ties, and Huda was like, "I'm not even sad about what happened. So I don't know why he can't just sleep in the bed because he don't want you waking him up asking to fuck Huda. He don't want you waking him up asking to cuddle. He doesn't want you waking him up." Threatening to air out whatever dirty laundry to the world when y'all get out the villa if he doesn't acquiesce to what you want. So yeah, he took his big ass up to soul ties. So the next morning, the girls get a text that they are going to have a spa day. We saw very minimal of it, like minimal of it. So that night it is time for the declarations of love. Everybody looked really, really nice. I did not like Nick's blazer. I thought it was tacky. I'm sorry. I thought it was very tacky, but everybody looked nice overall. Um, I thought I'll say this. I thought Huda and Chris's speeches were very, very nice. I did. Huda did take some acknowledgement for the way that she has moved in her relationships, what she has learned from Chris. Awesome. Chris gave her a very, very gracious speech back. So I appreciated that. Nick's speech was interesting. He said, I don't know where we're going after here. I don't know where we are going. Are we going to be lovers or partners or best friends? Did you see Alandria's face? She was shocked. She did one of those. I did too because y'all just said that y'all were going. All right. Okay. So Ariana comes out so we can see who the winner is. Fourth place is Iris and Pepe. Iris was pissed. You could tell Iris was pissed. She was looking like the fuck. Huda and Chris came in third. That shocked me, but like I said, I honestly and truly believe that when Huda and Chris broke up, production was like, "Don't let their asses get hired in third place. Switch some stuff around." Huda was shocked because she could not believe that they came in third. I couldn't believe it either. In second place is Alandria and Nick, and our winners are Amaya, Papaya, and Brian. Good for them. I'm happy that Amaya won because I felt like Amaya was dumped on by the guys. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine being told time and time again that you're too much, you're too loud, you're too this, you're too that. Because it's not a matter of saying that, oh, you're not organized enough or something like that. Like, y'all are attacking her personality, something that she should not have to change. So I'm happy that she found somebody in Brian. I know a lot of people are saying Brian only liked her because he found out she was a fan favorite. Brian stood up for her and defended her before that. Brian stood up and defended Amaya at that fire pit during the male challenge when they were coming at her for saying babe and all that kind of stuff. He defended her. So they're cute together. I like the fact that he wanted to be closed off. Like, I'm happy for the both of them. Brian gets the money in his envelope and he splits it with Amaya. He said money isn't everything. So, of course, he's going to split it. Ariana announces that the reunion is going to be the 25th, like I mentioned, of August. Subscribe so you can get my recap. And that Love Island Games will be hosted by Ariana. Awesome. And that is going to be September 16th. Beyond the Villa is coming. So all that type of stuff. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Thumbs up the video. That was a thanks and a thumbs. Thumbs up the video. And once again, thank you all so, so much for all the fun this season, all the laughs, all the everything. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.